It's Pipes, Drums, and it's early October 2025. And as we did a couple of years ago with Jamie Forrester and Nick Hudson when they won their Highland Society of London gold medals, we wanted to do the same in 2025. So we have with us gold medalists for 2025, Brodie Watson-Massey and Stephen Leask. So we thought we'd take some time to get to know them a little bit and talk about their experience since they won their big prizes. Thanks very much, guys. Really appreciate you taking the time here.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah,
You
thanks.
bet. And, congratulations. That's huge. Just a major, major prize, and probably is going to change I'm sure it's already changed your piping life forever. Stephen, why don't we start with you? Can you take us through the day, the tune-up, the performance, the waiting, your feelings when you found out you'd won? Take us briefly through the day.
Yeah, it's quite interesting because I think me and Brodie had a chat just about the draw a couple of weeks before, I guess, the Open Gold Medal. But I was saying that I was quite happy to get an early draw. I was on 8th, and I guess the main positive I saw in that was that you just get up in the morning, you're prepared, you go and have your tune, and then that's it out the way. So yeah, no, I was quite happy to have an early draw. Tune up had went well. I was quite happy with the pipes. The week leading up to the competition, pipes had been behaving, so that always helps. And yeah, I was happy with the tune selection I got. It was one of the kind of, I guess, one of my favourites. You try not to have favourites, I guess. On the medal list, you try and have them all to be equally as prepared, but inevitably you do have a favourite. So yeah, I was generally happy with all of that. Happy with how I played on the platform, and then I quickly tried to put it out of my head after that. If I'm honest, I think this was the 4th year playing in the gold medal, and previous couple of times I've probably let it get to me, either having had bad tunes or bad performances or not performances that I was particularly happy with, and I've let them really get to me. So this year I had it in my head that regardless of the outcome, I would just put it out of my head. My partner Sarah also competes in the gold medal, so changed the focus to support her when she was on later in the afternoon. So yeah, that was probably my take on the morning.
Mm-hmm. And Brodie, how about you? Your lead up, tune up, etc., and how you felt you played, and those sorts of things.
Yeah, my lead up to the competition was largely the same, except there was one major difference, and that was that I was playing at the civic reception the night before. So that kind of changed the practice, I suppose, because I didn't want to overplay my pipes before. So I actually didn't play them the day before until the civic reception in the evening, and then I was only playing them for about 10-15 minutes at that reception. But other than that, they were behaving well, and then I was drawing, I think, 14th or 15th. It was right on the cusp of lunch, so I wasn't too sure. And then somebody came and told me I would be first after lunch, which was good because I knew exactly when I was going to play. So that really helped with the tune-up and being able to kind of settle the nerves. And then the tune I got, I was happy with. My Pibroch IG was going quite well, and some of my other tunes had the Pibroch IG in it. So I suppose there was maybe a little bit of disappointment that I didn't get one of those tunes. But I felt I just played the tune the way I would at home. And then similar to Stephen, just tried to kind of put it out of my mind. I actually went to the pub with Callum Brown straight after and stayed there for quite a wee while before returning to Edencourt.
And what about the announcement of the prizes? Oban's got a little bit different kind of the way of announcing as does the Northern Meeting. But when they were going from 5th to 1st or however it happened, did you feel? How do you deal with nerves? Do you? I think Stephen might have alluded to this. Expect the worst, be happy with the best kind of thing, or what's your way of dealing with that kind of anxiety on the day?
Yeah, I mean, I guess at Oban, like you say, the results are quite different to Inverness, because at Inverness we're all in one venue, and typically, yeah, in the last few years they've made a point of having an announcement, whether that be in the bar or in the main auditorium. But Oban's slightly different because we're spread across the different venues. So I was actually in listening to Sarah playing the former winners, MSR. And again, it was just completely out of my mind. I wasn't even thinking about what time will the results be out, that type of thing. So I didn't feel anxious about seeing what the result was. And then just after Sarah had played, my phone went, and it was Mike Fitzhenry, a fellow piper and long-term friend, but he had sent a screenshot of the result, but all it had up at that point was just the first place. And to see my name, it was, yeah, I would say shock, but shock not in the sense that I didn't think I'd played well, but just the shock on the realization that, yeah, I'd won the gold medal. It was kind of overwhelming, actually. Yeah, just a lot of emotions. So at that point, I left the Argyllshire Gathering Hall and kind of just felt as if I needed to have a bit of free space just to, to come to grips with it. And it just so happened that when I turned the corner, Willie McCallum was walking up towards me, and I've been going to Willie for I think probably close to 15 years now. So it was quite a nice moment just to share the news with him, and yeah, kind of overwhelmed by the whole thing, if I'm honest.
Brodie, at Inverness, I think they announced it from fifth to first, the prizes for the gold medal. And if I'm correct, it wasn't there, but after they announced second, did you think, boy, I think I've won this thing?
Well, that's obviously a kind of very quick moment, so I don't think I can say that passed through my mind. But I guess with it being my first year in the contest, I was just hoping for my name to be read out somewhere, because I felt I'd played well. I went along early to Eden Court and listened to some friends playing in the morning, and I thought there was some really great performances. I heard Stephen play. Stephen played really well. So yeah, I was definitely shocked. I and yeah, the first thing I did was kind of, once I was able to get out the theatre, was try and find my dad, because he always comes to these things. And I remember kind of looking across, trying to see him. And then I went out to the bar and he was there. And he was quite emotional, I think. He was happy. And then we went outside and phoned my mum, and a few other important people as well.
Amazing stuff.
So yeah, really nice experience.
Yeah, and maybe Brodie, stay with you. You alluded to this first time competing in each of the gold medals after winning the silver medal last year. And at 22, you're one of the youngest pipers in history to win the gold medal. So, what advice might you have for young pipers with strong competition ambitions?
I think advice, maybe advice that's piping related, but not actually about piping. One thing would be, like, get involved with the piping community and be friends with everyone. You're here to make friends for life, and you want to be happy for your friends when they do well, and they'll be happy for you when you do well. So that would be one really important piece of advice. Something that I've kind of tried to do through the years is, when I go to major gatherings and big events, Oban, Inverness, London, whatever it might be, and there's all these top players playing, is I really try and listen to as much as possible. I think you just learn so much from listening live, that you might not really pick up on through recordings or videos or whatever it might be. And I wouldn't say it baffles me, but it definitely surprises me how few top pipers are there listening. Because I think for me, that's just where I do a lot of learning. And if you can take the, like, little 1% from 10 pipers, then you'll be 10% better kind of thing. That's the way I view it. Even if it's just the way that they command the stage or tune up, or the way they play a certain piece of technique. It's Pibroch's like a life study. It's not something that you just learn overnight. So yeah, listen and try and listen well.
Very good. And Stephen, how about you? Any advice? I mean, you've been at it, as you said, for 4 or 5 times, which is not a long time either, and you're very young as well. What about your advice to younger pipers looking to do well competitively?
Yeah, I mean, I think similar to as Brodie said, is that the whole competing scene is full of your friends and peers. Do you know what I mean? And you spend so much time doing that you really have to enjoy being in the company of other people and socializing. So I totally agree with Brodie in that has to be right up there for you to, I guess, keep the motivation going. Like it's like I mean, I've been competing for quite a number of years now, and there always are points where you maybe have slightly less motivation. But I think being in a circle of friends and having that camaraderie when you do go to competitions, the socialising after playing, I think that all really helps contributing to that. And I think ultimately is just really enjoying your piping. I think that is one of the key things. I don't know if obsessed is the right word, but yeah, when I was younger, and I'm probably still like this to a certain extent, but I just constantly love listening to piping and traditional music. Like, from a really young age, I would always be listening to the top players. Anytime you were at a competition, going to the Glenfiddich to listen in the audience, the normal meeting at Argyllshire Gathering is just really lapping up that atmosphere and trying to learn as much as you can. But ultimately, you've just got to enjoy it. Otherwise, I don't think there's little motivation to keep going week after week competing.